Jim Harbaugh is the man for the LA Chargers. The LA Superchargers got their guy.
Go Chargers, go.
More unhinged milk drinker. Schwarzenegger or Harbaugh?
Harbaugh.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, really? Yeah. It's Harbaugh. Why do you say Arnold? I've never seen Arnold be like, I drink a lot of milk.
Yeah,
Like the look.
Not that candy ass 2%.
No, whole milk, baby, whole milk.
The whole idea of like the who's got it better than us thing, not actually originating with him, but his father, really kind of speaks to the whole Harbaugh in general.
Yeah, they're O'Doyles, and that's all we need to know about them. But Harbaugh is the man. This is like the worst kept secret in the world that Jim Harbaugh was going to go back and finish what he had started as a player with the Chargers, similar to what he did at Michigan, where he started as a player, brought a championship there. He left. His next infinity stone is getting a Super Bowl, and it would be a Super Bowl championship ring instead of the college football.
I mean, he really is Thanos out there.
He is. And look, the guy at every turn he's won.
Yes.
Literally everywhere he's been. Every single place that he has been, the man has won football games. And this is... when you look at the hire of Harbaugh to the Chargers, one, I think it's perfect for an ownership group that is cheap and has made misstep after misstep almost at every single turn.
Because they're paying him all of the money.
They have to. I mean, yesterday it was reported that Michigan's offer to Harbaugh was to make him the highest paid coach in college football, a clause that no matter who else got paid, he would have escalator clauses that would raise his salary up to be the highest paid coach in college football.
The saving deal.
The immunity clause in it. So if anything happened with the 2 ongoing investigations against him in the program, he wouldn't be punished. And a clause that if they fired him with cause, if they terminated his contract with cause, he would still get paid for a year. Like he got a pretty good deal. Everything he wanted.
In other words, they could fire you for effing up, and they have a reason to fire you for, and you still got your bag.
So this is a man that has won everywhere he's gone, and he's done it in some really damn hard places. I mean, I think people don't understand when he took over the University of San Diego. The University of San Diego is a non-scholarship FCS football program. He went 11-1 2 years in a row there, and it was like I think that they need a spot because they weren't eligible. The Pioneer League was not eligible for the playoffs because they were non-scholarship. They're like, probably should change that rule. And they have changed that rule in the FCS. He goes to Stanford where nobody could win. Buddy Stevens was an absolute disaster there. It was the worst job in college football. And everybody said it's the worst job in college football.
And he took them to be a team in, was it 2010?
They were the best team in college football.
It was a coin toss between them and Auburn.
It was not. It was the year after. It was Andrew Luck. It would have been 2011, 2012. It was, they were playing the best football, but they lost early in the season. And in college football, when you had a 2-team playoff, they had to go and they played in the Orange Bowl, and they ended up winning the Orange Bowl. He recruited at a ridiculous level there. Then he goes to the NFL, takes over, and this is where you can sit there and you have kind of, all right, what should the expectation be with Harbaugh in LA with the Chargers? He took over a 49ers team under Mike Singletary that went 6-10 the year before.
And they were rudderless.
And the very next year they went 13-3. His evaluation of talent, the way that he can sit there and find the way the pieces of the puzzle can fit together. When you talk about building rosters at every level, he has done it successfully. And he's a very tough person to work with. And that's where he and Trent Baalke, they butted heads in San Francisco. And so he went to Michigan. And he immediately, I think people forget, he almost got fired at Michigan during the COVID year. But immediately...
Remember, he took a pay cut.
They went to the Orange Bowl. They went to the Orange Bowl immediately when he got to Michigan. Like, they were good from the jump. But going that 6-10 to 13-3 in San Francisco, you look at why LA was attractive to him. He has the quarterback, and Justin Herbert is a better quarterback than Alex Smith was at that time. And oh, by the way, he drafted Colin Kaepernick his first year. Evaluation of talent, how they'll fit together. And you look at it and say, if this guy can get everybody to pull in the same direction, if they can shore up their offensive line, which they have the number 5 pick in the draft this year. They have all 7 of their draft picks heading into the season. I don't think they'll go offensive line because it was more of a health issue that they had, just getting banged up, because they have a left tackle if you can keep him healthy.
Yeah, Slater's a dude.
Lindsley is a very good center if he's healthy. But they're a product of health on both sides of the football. And maybe you make those changes. You start maybe moving some guys that do have health backgrounds that aren't great. Look, the talent level may be there, but that stuff doesn't matter if you can't be on the field. So you might have to sacrifice maybe a higher end talent guy for a guy a step down, but he's out there for 15 a year. They should win, and they should win. The expectation is they win immediately. And John Harbaugh said today he's getting ready for the AFC Championship game. Kind of a big deal. Yeah. And he addressed the fact that his brother got the Chargers job.
I have, and my thoughts are we play next year. So we're looking forward to all of it. You know, I'm just very happy for him, proud of him, excited for him, excited for his family. I heard my mom and dad told me that he called back in the evening and he found out that all of his kids, starting with Addie and Katie, had their bags packed already. They're ready to go. So they're excited too. So it's going to be great. He's well-deserved. And I'll say this, the Chargers just got themselves one great coach. No way the kids are ready to leave Ann Arbor for Los Angeles?
That is the most Harbaugh thing ever. He gets back and they're like, bags are packed and they're ready to go.
It's amazing, too, how much exactly he sounds like his brother, like just from the sound of the voice to the cadence.
It's just slightly cleaner.
Yeah.
You know? What's funny is everybody tends to forget that John is the older brother. Mm-hmm. You would think Jim is the older brother. Remember what he looks.
Well, that we've heard about him and known about him for far longer.
But I mean, like, he looks like, he sounds like John still looks 10 years younger.
Yeah.
Right?
America.
Yes, he does.
I mean, it's got to be the milk.
It's hard living. It's hard living for John or Jim.
Yeah.
John is
a lot of city miles.
Well, and I think that comes with being the little brother and getting his ass kicked probably by John.
Probably.
You know, and then you just become a little bit more quirky. That's a
I don't think anybody's ever called
kind way to say it.
Jim Harbaugh quirky.
I think that's a great way to describe him because
I'd go with insane, but that's fine.
He's weird.
Yeah.
He is very weird. And he's going to win in LA.
Oh, I have zero doubts about them winning.
It will be very interesting to see where they go for the general manager and who he picks as his coordinators. Because Jesse Minter apparently is on tap to be one of his coordinators. They're saying he may bring him from Michigan to LA to be the defensive coordinator for the Chargers.
And it sounds like I heard Kellen Moore's name pop up at Michigan.
Really?
Yeah. I thought that was a little bit weird if you'd see those two swap.
Huh. I haven't seen that, but Jesse Minter is a guy that dude can call a defense, and he's kind of cut his teeth in the NFL because he coached with John Harbaugh before he ended up going into college and went to Vanderbilt, then ended up at Michigan. He has an NFL background. He is one of the smartest defensive minds in football. I wouldn't be surprised to see that one bit. I think Kellen Moore, there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to want his services in the NFL. And I don't know if he fits as a college guy. Just having brief interactions with him and hearing him speak, he is not the dynamic, I'm going to be a great recruiter, I want to dive into all day, every day, being in the lives of high school kids and trying to win them over. He's not that kind of guy.
He strikes me as college offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
where he could just do the football.
I don't, but you can't in college. In college, you have to be a good recruiter too. Like even if you are just the play caller, you got to be able to recruit because there's a massive hole if your offensive coordinator isn't that guy who can go out and do that. Makes sense. So I believe he'll probably stay in the NFL. But now he was a guy that the Chargers were blocking him from doing any interviews. And so now he may go out, and Philly may be a landing spot for him because they fired Brian Johnson and they just hired Vic Fangio as the defensive coordinator in Philly.
And they brought in Cliff to interview for that spot.
I think Kellen Moore over Cliff Kingsbury would be far better with the skill set that Jalen Hurts has and the way that you're constructed as it is with the weapons that you have on outside. I mean, Kellen Moore, for all of the warts that he gained in Dallas, I think we're starting to learn that maybe Kellen Moore wasn't the big issue with Dallas in the postseason.
Turns out.
kind of looked like the same stuff happening over and over again. And now Cowboy fans are going to get all hot and bothered.
Maybe it was the quarterback.
But I think when you look at the success Harbaugh's had with quarterbacks, I think for Justin Herbert, you've got to be thrilled because every single quarterback, you know who his quarterback was at San Diego? Josh Johnson, who played in the NFC Championship game for the 49ers last year. Was he good? No.
But he's an NFL. He turned a guy into an NFL quarterback at a non-scholarship school.
Yes. And so think of his track record, Josh Johnson. And then he had Tavita Pritchard at Stanford before he had Andrew Luck. And Tavita Pritchard beat USC. And with a talent gap that was bigger than the Grand Canyon.
Chasm.
Okay. Then he has Andrew Luck. And then you go to what he was able to do with J.J. McCarthy at Michigan. Like Alex Smith, resurgence. Colin Kaepernick getting to a Super Bowl. Like he has gotten the best and squeezed everything out of every quarterback that he has ever
had. And not only
had.
that, he is a quarterback who understands it. Like this isn't a run-of-the-mill guy. This is a guy who was a lifer quarterback.
Yeah.
So he knows the stuff that these guys are going through on top of being just this absolute maniacal football guy.
I think he probably is. He is the best program builder in football. Jim Harbaugh.
I would not disagree with that. I hate going hot takey stuff. He may be the best coach, football coach, not NFL coach, not college coach, football coach of the modern era.
No, I mean, that was something that I was saying in that, like, you had in that stretch where we had Saban retire, Belichick retire or get fired. You had the best NFL coach. You had the best college coach. And then Harbaugh leaving, it finishes the loop of you have the guy who is the best crossover, the best to do both.
Yes.
I mean, he won a national championship in college, guided a team to the Super Bowl, and that is really damn hard to do. And when you talk about like the best football coach, like you're saying, Nick Saban was unable to do it because he had the inability to connect with NFL players.
It's Pete, Harbaugh, and one other, I think, in the modern era that have been to a Super Bowl and won a national title.
Yeah, and Pete Carroll, that man
can coach.
He can coach some damn football too. I mean, it is Harbaugh and Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it right there. And if Harbaugh gets over the hump with the Chargers, because and here's why I say Harbaugh, he took over a dumpster fire in San Francisco. The Seahawks were not the dumpster fire.
No, Pete knew what he was running to.
And it was something good. Yeah. And now, did he knock it out of the park? Yes, he did. I mean, and that guy, he's special. And I love that he wanted in on that Chargers job. He wanted a piece of that Chargers job too. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. The Cowboys should just fire Mike McCarthy and bring in Pete Carroll. Just do it. Do it, and you're going to win. You're going to win.
But then that would require Jerry Jones being wrong.
Yeah. But would it be him being wrong, or give me a damn Super Bowl before I die?
Yeah. You would think that knowing that you look like Tales from the Crypt, that maybe you'd push a little harder on that.
And the final piece to this, which we'll discuss a little bit later, like where Michigan goes moving forward. There is calculation in Jim Harbaugh dragging this thing out as long as he could. We all knew he was going to go to the Chargers. We knew it. We knew it. It wasn't the Chargers being like, well, we don't know if we want Jim or not. This process taking as long as it did.
How much money? It
was Michigan. No, it was setting up Michigan. Everybody else in college football has gotten paid. He wanted one of his guys to take over, and it will be Sherrone Moore. Sherrone Moore is, in all likelihood, going to be the guy. There is we'll get to this a little bit later, because there is a clause where, like, for the Michigan job, state law says it has to be posted for 7 days before you make a hire. There is a loophole in that we'll get to. Sherrone Moore is going to be the guy there. And I think it was calculated by Jim Harbaugh to make sure that this hiring cycle, Michigan was the last one in. What happens to that roster? That's going to be very interesting, because now the portal opens for 30 days for all the Michigan players as well.